Hey, Ruth, why are you in an apartment building like this one? Only those that live here are allowed to be walking around like that inside the building doors. This is not the place for a sad woman like you.
What?
I saw you coming out of the same building that my apartment is in just a second ago. I didn't get a good look at your face, but the way you look from behind is just the way I remember you. As your little sister, I've seen every square inch of you and know what your behind looks like.
You must have been looking around a lot, because on my way out I didn't notice you anywhere.
Did you miss your old place so much that you came all the way over here to see it again? You had been living in that building forever up until 6 years ago, right? Well, it's been 6 years since you had to go, so that apartment is no longer yours. The only place you have now is a cardboard box in the park somewhere. Now you hurry home before it gets too dark out to find your way.
Excuse me?
I know that your life must suck right now, Ruth. Even though you used to have yourself a husband working at a very professional trades company and an apartment inside that building. But you lost all of that to your own little sister. And after having both your house and husband stolen by me, you became homeless, right? Your life took a major 180 and you never recovered from it, right?
Sure, because of you, my life had been sucking for a long time. That's why I was really hoping that I'd never have to even think about you or that stupid face of yours again. But now I'm having to talk with you again, 6 years after what crimes you've committed.
It's your fault for hanging out inside my apartment building. Now tell me, why did you come here? Don't tell me that you only came here to get a breath of this fresh air that us rich people get to breathe every day, right?
What does it matter to you, Indy? My life means nothing to you, so you can just leave me alone now.
Did you come here looking for Julian? Oh, you came all the way here thinking that you could get back together with him? Well, that's never happening. What kind of man would want to get back together with his homeless and Digny ex-wife?
Did you just call me Digny?
I only got a glance at you on your way out, but you looked pretty freaking gross to me. I remember how beautiful you were back when you first got married to Julian. You always wore some of the most amazing clothes, and it made me so jealous that you could afford all those brands. But today, the Ruth that I saw was anything but beautiful, and definitely not someone I wanted to become jealous of. I'm sure all that clothing you had on came from a Salvation Army or something.
Why have I just been sitting here letting you run your mouth like that? You always just sit here putting me down, and there's not a single word coming out of your mouth that is worth my time.
If you don't want me putting you down anymore, then how about you stop being homeless? If you can't stop, then not only can you forget about getting back together with Julian, but you can also forget seeing him at all.
I don't need that kind of lousy man back in my life.
Sure. You're just saying that. You came all the way here trying to get him back. Well, that's too bad, because from here on out, I'm gonna make sure you're never allowed inside that apartment building ever again. It's already trespassing for you to be here without living here, so I'm going to let the front desk know about you now so that they'll be on the lookout.
Yo, Ruth, it sounds like you stopped by our apartment building today. Is it true that you came all the way back here just to try to win me back or something?
So Indy talked with you about that. Well, sorry to say this, but I wasn't there to meet with your toxic butt. So please stop thinking that you're really worth that much for me to still be thinking about.
Then tell me why the heck you were here. I'm sure you are becoming a little bit turned on now since it's me of all people who started texting you again, right? Can you please say to you, I have been wanting to see you for so long.
Huh?
Well, I'm sad to hear that you came all the way here looking for me. I am not the kind of man who's willing to get back together with some dirty woman who ended up becoming homeless because of her sister. You are a loser, which means you are not meant to be my wife.
That's why I told you I didn't go there to meet with you. Even if you asked me to get back with you, I never would because I actually have pride in myself, and I would never go back to someone who cheats.
Then tell me why you came to our apartment building today.
Why does it matter to you? It had nothing to do with you and Indy.
No, it doesn't matter to us, though. I live in this building, and I'm going to become the owner of this apartment building as well.
What?
And I don't want some dingy homeless woman coming into my future high-end apartment building. What would happen if this building's value began to plummet because of a gross woman like yourself?
What? Wait a second. Julian, you're going to become the owner of that apartment building?
Yeah. I want to get my hands on whatever I please. And I've always wanted to live in a penthouse of this building with all the floors underneath it being mine. But the owner of this building never gives it up to me, no matter how much I offer to pay for it. I think as long as I get another million or two to hand over, I can make him bend and give it to me.
Seems your pride and cohesive have not changed one bit since the last time we talked.
Us men should be all pushy to some extent. Yeah, there's this old bastard who owns this place is getting in the way of my dream. He's nothing but a loser, yet he won't jump on any of my high offers for this place. There's no reason for such an old fart to be living in and owning such a high-rise, high-end apartment building.
I'm pretty sure with him being the owner, he gets to choose who lives in that building and who doesn't, right? It's because you say such terrible things like that he won't sell you this building.
Shut it. I'm not listening to anything a homeless loser like yourself has to say about this.
Excuse me?
Are you done here? I don't want you ever coming into this apartment building ever again. Having even one homeless person walking around in this building will ruin its value for good, and it will be worth nothing to me. If this building ever does lose value to the point that it's worth only half of what it's worth now because of you, I'm going to make you pay up for that half lost.
What the heck, Ruth? Did I really just see you coming in and out of your apartment building again? You were already told by Julian that you're no longer allowed in there.
I was seen by you again? You really have nothing better to do with your time or something?
The only reason I was able to see you is because I could smell your filth coming close to this place again. I can smell you for miles, actually.
Huh?
I'll be kind this time and let you off the hook. As your little sister, I'll shut up and not tell Julian anything about this. But in exchange for my kindness, don't ever come here again. Please. The only people allowed into that apartment building are those that live there. It is not the place for some depressed homeless person to be wandering in and out of.
So what you're saying is as long as I'm living here, I can go in and out? Well, then there should be no problem with me being in that building.
What?
I forgot to mention this, but starting today, I'm living in that apartment building again. Which means no matter how much you tell me to stay away, I don't have to listen to you.
You, of all people, are living here? Come on now. You can't just start telling such paper-thin lies now. I can see right through them. You really thought you were going to fool me with that one?
What? I wasn't lying to you, though.
Ruth, since when did you become such a freaking idiot? There's no way someone who lost both their apartment and their husband will be able to afford a room in a building like that, right? Can't you see that this whole place is one of the most expensive apartment buildings on the block?
And I can pay for an apartment there. And that's why I live there now.
No, you live in a park somewhere, Ruth. Stop trying to sound all tough and go back to your cardboard house, you loser.
But I have always lived in that building, and that's why I did everything I could to get back there.
Then show me your place right now. I want to go and see the room that you're paying for. I'm sure you can't show me any room in that building though, right? Because you actually live in a cold and damp park somewhere. Now come on, Ruth, start telling me the truth. Because if you don't, I'm going to have to put you down even further.
No matter what I have to say, all you want to think is that I'm homeless and live in a park. It's been 6 years now since the divorce. I may have lived in a park for a little bit, but after 6 years, you don't think I've moved into a new place of my own?
I don't think so, because that would be impossible for you. You were a housewife when that divorce happened, so you had no way of finding yourself a new job or anything that would bring you any significant income. The only life you had left for yourself after Julian left you was living under a bridge or behind a bench at some park. If anything, the way you've been looking recently just goes to show you don't have a proper house or anything on your own.
What was that?
Just confess already, Ruth. Everybody already knows you still live in a cardboard box. If you can just tell me the truth, then maybe next time Julian and I can come and see you at your house. Which park are you living right now? If you don't mind, we'd love to bring you some more boxes to help you expand your house.
Take a look at the very top floor of that apartment building. That's where I'm living.
What?
So you both can keep those boxes. I don't need that kind of useless waste in my room. Also, you both don't have to come and see my place. I only just got this place and I wouldn't want its value being ruined by the two of you.
You live all the way up there? This is such a stupid joke, Ruth. There's no way in hell that you would be able to afford that penthouse. Now you listen here. That penthouse is reserved for Julian and I for when he buys his whole building. Julian is in talks right now with the owner of the building and that room, and we will be buying it off him really soon. So there's no freaking way that penthouse would ever become yours.
And that owner you have been talking about giving this penthouse to me. He told me he was fine with letting me have it.
Huh?
Too bad for Julian, who has been trying so hard to get this place in the building. But I'm the owner of this penthouse now, so please let him know he can stop trying now. The building's owner no longer wants to talk with Julian, since this penthouse is mine now, and the owner does not want to sell his building.
No, flipping away. Do you have any idea how much that penthouse costs? Do you have any idea how many millions that penthouse costs? No freaking way a homeless and jobless loser like you can afford that.
Tell me, Indy, since when did I say that I'm still homeless and unemployed? I haven't lived in a park for over 5 years now, and as for work, my company is doing just fine and has been for years. I don't think I have to worry about money ever again now that I have my company bringing in all this dough.
What? You're a company owner? You have your own business?
I really worked my butt off after becoming homeless. And as for the owner of this apartment building, he's always been helping out in the homeless in the city. That's how I first met him, and since then, he has done a lot for me. He even helped me get my company started, and moving along from there.
You liar! What kind of poor joke is that? Because all you were 6 years ago was a housewife and nothing else. So there's no way I'm believing that you actually have a company of your own now.
As long as one has the drive and the willpower, they can do anything they put their minds to.
What?
6 years ago, I was really down on my luck. I lost both my house and my husband and was considering if it was even worth living anymore. But look, the owner of this building found me and made sure to give me the support I need. He told me to fight for the revenge I needed to get my ex-husband. And then he said if I could achieve my revenge, I could do anything I wanted. So I've been fighting forever now, and all in order to get my revenge.
Yeah, your revenge?
That's right. And that revenge of mine is making sure that I end up on top of you both, literally and figuratively. So by fighting for that, I was able to get myself here, into this penthouse where I'll be living now. All I had to do was start up a successful company and then start making bank doing the kind of work I was meant for. I was then able to sell a lot of stocks from my company and get the money I needed for a place like this.
No. Hold on a sec. No way. That penthouse costs millions to live in. You're telling me you make that much with your company right now?
Please understand that I'm not going to be able to buy this place in one lump payment, all right? I made sure to take out a loan and will be paying for this place over time. But the owner was nice enough to have the price for me because he is just that kind. Honestly, I'm going to need to watch my spending now, though, because that's just how expensive this place is. But this is just how badly I want to get back into the building you and Julian threw me out of. Now I'm going to make you both suffer for what you've done to me.
No way!
Now that you're aware of the truth, you can stop telling me to leave that building, all right? I happen to be living at the top of that place now, and will be for as long as I want. Also, remember this, please. I am very close with the owner of the building, so if you would like to continue living in it, then please be more thoughtful of what you have to say to me.
Yo, Ruth, what the hell is going on here? You were able to get that penthouse? How the hell were you able to get that stingy old fart to sell it to you?
I never was able to get him to do anything for me. I've just been close to the owner of this building is all.
What?
By the way, he's not some stingy old fart either. He's a very open-minded man, with a heart that is open to everyone and anyone who is willing to respect him.
What are you talking about? That old fart is so freaking stingy that I wasn't even able to spark a conversation with him half the time. Recently, he hasn't even been willing to stop and talk with me at all. Anytime I'd walk up to him, he'd just tell me he wouldn't sell me a thing before walking away. How the hell does that make him open-minded and caring?
You and your wife have been the one disrespecting him, right? He tried to give you both the benefit of the doubt at first, but all you guys had to say to him were very rude remarks. No matter how open-minded he may be, he is not some kind of sucker who is willing to talk with those who don't bother showing him some respect that he deserves.
What kind of disrespectful things have we said? What have we done that's so wrong?
The first time you came to the penthouse with him to get a tour, you guys started to make poor comments about the man. Indy told him the penthouse was being left to rot by having an old man living in it, and then she told him to give the place to you both, because you both are still young and cuttered. That's what he told me you both were saying.
I was never saying that. All of that came out of Indy's mouth, right? And she was only saying those things because she was excited to get that place.
But, as her husband, you didn't do anything to shut her up. You didn't even bother to apologize for what she was saying. Actually, I've been told you stood up right beside her and agreed with everything she was saying.
What?
I've also been told that both of you wouldn't listen to how much he wanted to keep the penthouse the way it was, and that you both start to talk about your plans for major renovations to the place right in front of him. He tried to ask you both to stop talking like that, only to get told to shut up and that he didn't know anything about the interior design but you, Julian. So no, it wasn't just Indy who was making poor comments about him.
That was...
You really think someone would want to sell you their penthouse and their apartment building after being told things like that? Guess what I've been told by the owner? This penthouse has to stay the way it is because he has tons of memories with his wife in this place. He only wanted to sell it to someone who would not mess with the overall interior and would enjoy living in its vintage theme.
We were going to take very good care of that place and enjoy it, though.
No, you weren't. You guys don't even respect the apartment building in which you live right now.
Excuse me?
The owner of this building, he wasn't going around helping the homeless of this city. He wasn't only going around helping the homeless in this city. He has also volunteered at a lot of places all around here, and because of that, he's heard all kinds of things. And he's heard a lot about the kinds of people you and Indy are in the eyes of the other residents here and outside of here. Sounds like you're not only trying to act all high and mighty within the apartment building, but on the streets as well. I'm going to become the next owner of this apartment building, so don't you ever go against me.
Ah.
And what's this about you just parking your car wherever you like in the parking garage? You also love to have your friends park their cars in other people's spots without asking. There's also talk about you never following any of the rules regarding trash disposal and recycling. To put it straight, you live life here like you're the king, doing whatever you want in the place. And when it comes to those who have tried to correct you, you think it's okay to say that to the future owner of this place? You're literally threatening the other residents here, Julian.
I am not threatening them. I'm just warning them is all.
One and the same. Nobody is going to want to sell this apartment building to you, let alone their precious penthouse. But luckily, I'm here now to take this penthouse away from your greedy little hands and let you know to screw off. If you can understand that now, then stop.
For crying out loud, I only had a little bit longer to wait before making this place mine. Why the hell were you able to get that penthouse before me?
I know I haven't told you this yet, but from here on out, would you please call me Miss Shelton? I'm not associated with you anymore, so don't ever call me by my first name ever again. Now, from here on out, I ask that you please follow the rules of this place and respect this apartment building, like your life of living here depends on it.
Help me, Ruth. I'm asking you to please let me come and take refuge at your place.
What? Why do you need to come and take refuge with me?
Julian and I just got into a massive fight. At first, we were just having a calm discussion and all, but then it turned into us both starting to get really heated up. The inside of our place is in the ruins now, and Julian is so furious that he can't even sit still anymore. kicked me out of the house and won't let me back into it.
Oh my. That's a really difficult situation.
I have nowhere to go right now, though. That's why I need you to let me come crash in your room for a while. The penthouse you have up there is really spacious, right? You shouldn't mind only me coming there to stay for a while, right?
I guess looking at this without any feelings attached, there's no problem with you staying here. But I have feelings for you, a lot of them, so you're not coming here to stay with me.
What? Why not?
You know why, right? You're the one that stole my husband from me and then kicked me out of my place and made me homeless. I have no reason to be helping an asshole like you right now.
But right now I'm really in trouble. If things don't change at all, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be divorced. Are you going to just abandon me at a time like this? I have learned my lesson now. I really mean that. I'm so sorry for all the things I took from you. I will continue to apologize for all of that, so please don't abandon me now.
What makes you think things can be so easy for you in this world?
If you let me come and stay with you, I'll do anything you ask. You are really busy right now having to manage that company, right? I'll take care of all the chores in your house while you're out working. I'll cook for you, clean for you, do the laundry for you. I'll do everything for you. Let us use this chance for us to become close to one another again as sisters.
No freaking way. If you've really been kicked out of your place, then the only home you have now is a park. I'd hurry up and get to making a nice cardboard house there.
What?
Congratulations on being upgraded to homeless, Indy. I'm sure this is one huge 180 for you, but please try your best to survive. Your older sister was able to climb out of that hopeless life, so I'm sure you can do it as well.
There's no way. I don't have the kind of guts you have, Ruth, but please let me stay with you!
It's almost time for me to go to work. I've got to get going now. Have fun out there in the cold and damp park you made yourself home. If you do want my recommendation for a good park, the one close to the main train station is my favorite. There are plenty of nice trees there to hide under, and considering it's the beginning of summer now, you'll find it quite warm. Now, best of luck as you start collecting some cardboard boxes. After that, quite a few more fights broke out between Indy and Julian. But in the end, it was decided that they're going to be getting a divorce. Indy was forced to stay out of that apartment and really did have to find a park somewhere to start living in a couple of cardboard boxes. As for Julian, after he got that divorce, he came right back to me asking for us to get back together. He was being so invasive, asking me all these things all the time and trying to force me to go back to him, that I called the police and reported him as a stalker. And not too long after bringing this up with the owner of the apartment building, he went and had a word with Julian. I was also able to get a restraining order on Julian, which means that he can no longer approach me within 200 feet and could not come up to my penthouse anymore. The news of this went and spread to a lot of the other residents within the building, and they all started to act even more distant around him. The owner also asked Julian to let him come and see his place for a routine checkup after what had happened, and there he found the place was still a complete mess after all the fighting Julian and Indy had got into. The walls were all tattered, and the carpet was stained with what could have been wine or blood. This led to the owner asking for Julian to start paying him for all the damages to the place, and soon Julian was out of $10,000 and kicked out of the apartment. I really hope whoever moves into that apartment next is a much more kind person and can learn to get along with the rest of the people in this apartment building.